Hi, my name's Bill Schaeffer and I have another book review for you today. Today's book review is The Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, translated by Feng in Jane English. Little is known about Lao Tzu himself, and he may be a legend, but he's supposed to have lived around 500 or 600 BC and was a contemporary of Confucius. He preached a life of simplicity and returning to a more simple life. He was offered a job in the court of the king and he turned it down so he could maintain his life in the country, in the mountains, sitting at the edge of a stream. At the end of his life, sick in his heart at the ways of men, he went off to die. When he got to the Great Wall of China, he was asked by one of the guards to write down his wisdom because he had quite a legendary reputation. Supposedly, what he wrote down is the Tao Te Ching that exists today, a collection of 81 verses extolling certain viewpoints on aspects of life. In English, there are many different translations of the Tao Te Ching, and if you compare them to each other, they are remarkable in their diversity. Part of this is the difficulty of translating Chinese into English. Apparently, in the Chinese, the verses of the Tao Te Ching are very sing-songy, like a children's rhyme, and this is almost totally lost in the English translation. When the English translators try and preserve the rhyme, frequently the meaning is lost. I've looked at a number of these different translations, and my favorite is the one by Feng in Jane English. Although I'm not authority and I can't say why it's my favorite, it seems to me to be more true to the original intent of the Tao Te Ching. Another feature of the Tao Te Ching is that it's a collection of poems and not a long continuous narrative. Therefore, the best way to read it, or a good way to read it, is just to read one of the poems and think about it. And you can read it for a long period of time and continually come back to it and find new and interesting things. And I'd like to read one of the poems now, and this is number 7. 7. Heaven and earth last forever. Why do heaven and earth last forever? They are unborn, so ever living. The sage stays behind, and thus he is ahead. He is detached, thus at one with all. Through selfless action, he attains fulfillment. This is from the translation of the Tao Te Ching by Feng in Jane English. My favorite translation, and I highly recommend reading it. Please leave your comments below. Thank you.